A squad already threadbare in a number of areas is now even more thin on the ground, and the one key addition Potter so desperately wanted to make was passed over. Swansea started the summer with 5 senior centre-halves. They now have just one of that quintet still in situ. There remain just 3 fit and available central midfielders, just the one fit striker. No wonder Ollie McBurney was left bemused by it all. Does it sound reminiscent of how Paul Clement started last season with one fit striker, one left back, no number 10 and somehow 8 central midfielders? Indeed it does, yet here we are again. The suggestion had been that players would need to go out for there to be incomings, yet Swansea balked at paying the money required to sign Ryan Woods, even though Sam Clucas, Federico Fernandez, Jordi Amat all headed for the exits and Declan John was brought in for a fee of around just £400,000. It is hard to feel anything but a real sympathy and empathy for Potter, his staff and those players who remain at the club and have committed themselves to the rebuilding process. Deadline day was frustrating at Swansea City. Let's be clear, should they achieve anything approaching success this season, then it will be in spite of, and not because of, those at the helm of Swansea City. Should they fail, the blame will lie with those above them, because it is hard to imagine how deadline day, a day marked clearly in the diary for months on end, could have gone any worse. Okay, there are still some 3 weeks left in the loan window. You can see what Swansea might do in the loan market here, but the season is up and running, points are at stake, time is not going to wait for Swansea to get their house in order. The apparent lack of contingency planning is alarming in the extreme. There is a lot to be said for getting rid of players who don't want to be part of the project, but surely players to replace them need to be lined up and ready to come in and plug some of the gaps that inevitably leaves. Ayew wanted out, that is no secret, but he has ended up leaving on loan when an £8 million offer for him from Fulham was rejected in June. Federico Fernandez, one of Swansea's strongest assets in terms of value, has been sold for less than the £6 million fee attributed to his exit to Newcastle. Again, goodness knows what Potter must think. He would have known things would be difficult, but this cannot have been the picture that was painted for him when he spoke to Liberty Chiefs about leaving Ostersunds to take charge. The 43-year-old had acknowledged Swansea would not accomplish everything they would like to in this window, that being responsible financially was important. No one would disagree, but even he surely could not have envisioned this. Indeed, it would not have taken much for supporters to have been accepting of Swansea's business. Retaining Fernandez or signing a decent centre-back replacement, and bringing in Woods would quite feasibly have kept a sense of positivity, with the prospect of loan additions to follow. Instead, it's hard to know where to start, but the failure to secure the services of Woods is the hardest for supporters to stomach. Ryan Woods wanted to come to Swansea City. A deal was there to be done. It had been for some time. The player wanted to come to Swansea. The manager saw him as a key figure. In a summer where so much had been stripped away, surely the very least he could have expected would be to get his prime target through the door. Last weekend's win at Sheffield United showed that Potter, Kyle McCauley and company can bring in talented players with potential in cost-effective fashion. It's very early days, but St. Selena, Barry McKay and Joel Asoro have been encouraging acquisitions already. Any transfer is a risk, but there is no reason to think Woods would not have been able to fit in similar fashion. Surely, as a gesture of some goodwill towards the new manager, as a signal that there is a genuine desire to help him get things back on the right track amidst the restructuring, this was a move that needed to be done. Everyone knew there would have to be an element of cloth-cutting at Swansea following relegation, that there would be fewer incomings than outgoings. There is a considerable deficit in commercial and broadcast revenue to be factored in. The wage bill remained hefty even after the majority of the squad's pay cut relegation clauses had kicked in. Even so, the fees commanded for players sold this summer total around the £46 million mark. Barely £6 million has been accounted for in deals to acquire players. Yet, £6.5 million for what was deemed too rich by majority shareholders Jason Levian and Steve Kaplan, who hold the purse strings and have the final say on sanctioning deals in and out. Live updates as Swansea City's American owners face grilling from supporters. Trust for the first time pictured Steve Kaplan and Jason Levian. It may well be that the aim has been to completely write off the money that relegation will cost in one fell swoop, but no one has articulated that, or explained that to supporters, who are furious and had previously heard from Chairman Hugh Jenkins that the owners would be able to ease the financial burden of the drop. Their actions speak far louder than the words uttered from afar back in May when they were absent from the Premier League swan song against Stoke. Their statement released that day included this sentence: "As owners, our commitment is total and the determination to regain Premier League status is our only focus. On this evidence, regaining Premier League status is not the only focus." Additionally, Swans fans would be well within their rights to feel as sick as their manager given they have seen Levian parade Wayne Rooney around DC United this summer. Okay, the circumstances of the two clubs are different, but as a visual it is very hard to take given the stark contrast with the cutting back in South Wales. Would Swans fans have loved some sort of statement signing, some tangible sign of a genuine ambition to plot a route back to the top flight? There may yet be a number of loan arrivals in the weeks to come and they may yet prove effective, but allowing a day like this to unfold in such a manner would almost beggar belief had recent windows not also ended in regret and recrimination. It almost single-handedly undoes the sense of buoyancy and positivity provided by that win over Sheffield United last weekend, where a youthful side, seeking to play good attacking football and mucking in for each other, claimed the notable opening day scalp. These players, their coaches and manager have just had their degree of difficulty further added to. All you can do is get behind them and wish them the best because this was a day that did them no favors at all.